I guess let's start from the first part of it and work our way back. You were 5 down after 15. Then you won 2 of the last 3 holes to get it to 3 down. You needed those to get kind of back in it?
Yeah, I definitely did. I felt I had some momentum coming back there, and Michael was playing so well all day. It was nice to finally get something to go my way. He 3-putted 18 to kind of close that out on a sour note, and I thought, 18 holes left, spotting 3 shots, but I'm definitely still in it, and it was definitely pivotal to get those back to even walk down the back 9, I think.
What was your mindset going in that last 18 there after you gave up those couple holes at the end there?
Initially, I really thought if I come out and birdie 1, I can get right back in the match, and that's what happened. And I thought, keep hitting greens. I didn't think he could keep playing as well as he did all day. Unlucky for me, he did, but that was kind of my game plan. Just keep doing what I did all week. Get on the greens, get myself 20 footers. I'm very confident over the putter, and that's the plan.
You kind of whittled away, and you finally get back to all square. I guess that was after
13 and 14 were back-to-back birdies.
Back-to-back birdies. What are you thinking on 15 tee?
Thinking on 15, if I go in the fairway, that probably forces him to hit a real good shot. And again, every time he needed one, he had it and he capitalized. And he hit a phenomenal 4 or 5 iron in there to about 20 feet. I rushed my chip and pushed it out right, and then missed the birdie putt coming back. But I tried to put the pressure on him. I did, and he came through again.
Did you feel at that point that this was your match to kind of win or lose based on what was happening out there?
Yeah, I've gone in with the mentality all week that I'm kind of the underdog. No one really knows my name out there, and Mike being a past champion, I definitely never really felt the pressure out there. I kind of thought the whole time he was the one who gave up a 5-up lead. So even when I got it back to square, I was like, man, it's still his match, and keep plodding along. And he made some really nice birdies coming in.
Talk about 17. What'd you hit in there?
I hit a sand wedge.
From how far?
About 105.
Call that 18 feet?
Yeah, about 18 feet.
I guess that's up the hill?
That would have been down the hill.
Down the hill.
Yeah, and it was a pretty simple putt, right edge. Mike actually had the same putt earlier in the day, which I was able to recollect, and got it on my line, and was lucky enough with the last roll that fell in.
You were hitting first most of the time out of the fairway today. Was that any kind of distraction, or you kind of figured going in that he was going to get hit further than you were?
I never saw him play before we were kind of hitting the range, and I knew he was about 10 yards longer than me. And I actually don't think that's too big of a deterrent. I always think it's tough to see a ball close on the green and go ahead in there and try and top it. So that really didn't bother me too much. Going in, I knew he was going to be a little bit longer.
What were the key moments for you during the week, prior to today, where you had to play particularly well?
I think I really, going back to the match I had with Jamie Slonis, I was kind of down the whole match, and finally on 18 had a putt to win, and was lucky enough to make it. That was kind of the pivotal moment, and that got me thinking, hey, I can probably beat some pretty good players out here. And Matt, who I played in the next round before the final, played phenomenal. What a great game he had. And coming in today, I was pretty confident. I was able to knock off some what I thought were really good players, and kind of carried my confidence into the round today.
Since you finished at St. Joe's, how much serious golf have you been playing over the last
No, man. I actually moved out to Baltimore to start my career with Morgan Stanley, and I've since moved back to get my MBA. And I started playing some competitive golf again, kind of just the beginning of this year. And it was nice to get back into the swing, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you're working for Merrill
Lynch.
And you're getting your MBA?
Yes.
And then that will make you a broker, or eventually, or what?
Yeah, I'm already registered as a broker.
Okay.
Getting my MBA just because, frankly, it's free, and
okay. Yeah.
I think it's probably useful. So.
18. What'd you have left into the green?
I had about 220, and it's just a shot that I don't have. I don't hit the ball very high, so my kind of thing was to see if I can bang a hybrid into the hill and roll it on, and it's not really an easy shot for me. So.
If you had to pick one hole out there today where maybe you lost the match, could you do that?
Let's see. Yeah, you know what? The big hole was once I got it back to square, going down 15. I've got to make a birdie there. From the middle of the fairway with about 220 in, I've got to get a ball up and down. I don't necessarily need to hit it on, but you know, from where I was, that was a big hole.
And you ended up putting that in
Left.
the left?
Yeah.
Over the
Just left of the green. A lot of green to work with, just really hit a poor chip.
And what do you have left coming back for your putt there?
About 25 feet. And, you know, just missed on the edge, but it wasn't really a very legitimate look.
Can you take us back to 13 and 14 for a minute? What'd you hit on 13?
13, I hit 4-iron.
From how far? Right, was the pain on
235 today.
Okay.
A little bit downwind, a little bit downhill. And really nutted it. Hit it right on the number and got it right to the spot I was hitting. I didn't think I could get it to the flag, so I thought, hey, get myself a 20-foot look, and I was lucky enough to roll that one in.
And then on 14, what'd you hit in there?
I had 7-iron out of the bunker. That was probably the best shot I hit today.
Your right bunker?
I was in the left bunker.
Okay.
And 7-iron had a good lie, made a good swing, and the ball landed about probably 12 feet from the hole, and was able to jar that one as well.
So how far was the 7-iron?
I had about 170.
That putt seemed to really fire you up. You seemed really happy.
Yeah, I was excited there. I thought that could be a real big turning point, especially if I got a ball in the fairway on the next hole. But you know, Mike, he's been here before. He's a great player, and you know, he was able to really counterpunch me with back-to-back birdies of his own. So that was just really a great match.
Could you just kind of sum up what this week has meant to you?
Yeah, this is awesome. You know, it's a real confidence builder for me. I've always thought of myself as a pretty good player, but now I know I can, you know, come out here and compete with the elite guys out in the Philadelphia section, and yeah, it's been a thrill. This is I've always wanted to compete in this tournament. It's my favorite of the year, and really look forward to playing next year.
Your first time making match play? Or?
It is. This is my first time making match play. I think I've missed by 1 or 2 the last 2 times I played, and finally got it in. And I thought, you know, I'm a pretty good match player as opposed to stroke player, so I came in pretty confident that I can knock a few guys off.
How many times have you played in this event all told?
I think this is the 3rd time.
Steven, you talk about Mike's experience and everything, but he got in the sand trap a couple times. He wasn't on top of his game today. Did you see him opening the door for you to make that comeback?
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, we've played so many holes out here this week. I think he is a little fatigued. I know I'm dying. So I think, you know, the loose swings came more from fatigue than they did of, you know, lack of effort or a good play on his part, and certainly opened the door. You know, this is, everyone I've talked to said, you know, you really have to grind this tournament out. It's brutal. So, you know, the door was open, certainly, and he was able to just kind of keep it in there, though.
When did you graduate from St. Joe's?
2009.
And lastly for me, could you just talk about what it's like to represent kind of the Scranton kind of area?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Going home the other day, everyone found out I was in the final. I've gotten text messages from everyone. I don't even know people, and you know, they're so thrilled that I'm representing the area, and just to have somebody competing down here, it's been a lot of fun. I'm happy to represent Glenmaura. The amount of good players down there is staggering right now, and I think we're, you know, in the top 5 clubs in the Gap, and it's been great. And it's a testament to those guys how good my game's gotten over the last year. Just playing, you know, on the weekends, and when we can get out, the competition's pretty stiff. So it's you know, nice to get a good finish for them.